Alright, in my last video we started with the layout of using Adobe XD to lay out our entire home page, starting with a nav bar with our nav menu, our logo. Then we move on to our hero image or billboard with a call to action, a content area with some content in here and an image, our blog feed, a newsletter with the CTA, and then our footer. So what we're going to have to do is start out with our menu. And if we go in and look at how we structure a menu, basically what we want to do is when we initialize the menu, we want to set it up in a means where we can actually run with it from a filter within our function file. So in here, there should be a place where we have our menus registered. So let's look up menu. Okay, so according to the underscores template framework that we downloaded, we have one menu registered as a primary menu. So let's just do primary navigation menu. So when we go into the back end, we can actually see that registered on the back end. So let's go to menus and see create. And here you can see primary navigation. This is what we just created, and then we assign it to that area. Now what we want to do is, if I go into my header template, right? Just looking at this, I want to get rid of everything that's in there now, since we're going to redo this in Twig. So I'll take this out. In my layout file, wait, let's take this out too. Take this out and this. We want to bring this body tag over to our layout. Oh, it's already there. We need to pull this out also, since this already exists within each template. And when I say that, just imagine us using our original template, right? So I have the pages home.twig template file, and it's actually being wrapped within here. So imagine me, where's my, this. So imagine, where is it? Let me grab it again. Home Twig template. Got it. Here we go. So imagine this block here being wrapped in this body tag, and then that being referenced within here. And so we have our header here, which is this entire block here. And then we have our footer, which is this block here. So what we need to do is we need to take this out because we're going to have a template file to reference that. Instead of going that route, you know what? I'm going to just leave this layout. I'm going to leave this as it is. I don't want to fool around with that. I'm going to take that out. But I'm going to keep this layout piece because then I can have other areas on different templates. So let's say I have something that says below content. Below content. Let's do all one word. Camel case. All right. Now we have our layout. Then we have the home set up correctly, and it's still all right. And so we took out the footer area here, and what we're going to do is actually reference the footer the same way we did in here, but we're going to use an include rather than rendering the footer with context. I mean, we could do it that way also, and I think I will do it that way, so I'll come back to that. Anyway, let's go back to the menu. Just want to make sure I have all of my ducks in a row. Let's revisit the header. Okay. And so what is it that we need to say about the menu? So if we look here, there's a filter that we need to add for this primary menu. And what we're going to do is we're going to add that menu to the global context within Timber. So to do that, we're basically going to execute it against the filter name, which is Timber/context. And then we're going to pass in the function. That function then is going to have a key, and the value being the menu name, and then it's going to return the context. And then from there, we can actually instantiate the menu from our header file here. So let's say, for instance, I want to create my menu. Let's go to the functions, and here at the bottom, or we're going to just keep this file clean. Let's keep it clean, and let's call it Timber, and then the Timber menu. Menu func PHP. Menu, and then menu func PHP. All right. Next, we add a PHP tag. Keep it open, and then we add a function. We're going to just call this menu. Just say nav menu, and then we add a context argument. Return the context. new timber, what is it, \menu, and then we call it see how we have it registered, menu 1, but let's just call this primary because that's actually a better way for me to remember it, but you can name it whatever you like. So let's just call it primary. All right. And then what we need to do is include it as it requires. So let's say load menu, no, load timber context, say nav menu. All right, then we require it, and we say get template directory as we do with the others. And take that, include timber, so menu func, menu func. All right. So now we have our menu loaded in context. So what if we want to just use this anywhere? Basically, let's see, if I go to my layout and I say, this is how to create a for loop. So I would say for item in menu dot items end the for loop. So we're going to close out here, and what we're going to do is just instantiate the name of the item, which is the menu name. So if this is correct, we're going to see home page and sample page as the menu. So let's refresh. No such directory. Let's see. Oh, forgot to add my /. All right, let's try it now. All right, so I don't see my menu, so let's go in and make sure. The way I was able to fix it is I didn't realize, and it's been a long day, but I didn't add my filter. So it's timber context and then nav menu. All right, so if I go in and I refresh it, let me make sure up /. All right, there we go. We got our menu. Now let me just do a bare bones style of this. So if I go in and I say let's put this outside of our, because we want the items to loop within our unordered list. So let's take that, stretch that way. Li. My emit isn't working on here, which is weird, but okay. All right, so item title. Boom. Okay. That's the title. Close this. Okay. And we can also say if. So let's do something if we have, if one of our items has a child of, or drop down menu. So if we say, if item children so if this particular item is a drop down, basically. All right, so we're gonna say for this, do this, right? So if it has children, we want to have that, but then we have another loop, which is another for. So for this item, let's say just say child in item children in this for say child title, which is the title of the drop down item. If it doesn't have any children, which is if it doesn't have a drop down menu, then all we want is the item. So let's just do item title all right, next let's make sure our menu's still working. Okay, now let's try out this. So we're basically making a child of this item, which is the home page. So let's try that and see if it works. Let's inspect it. Oh, almost forgot. Put it within a unordered list. And take this. Li. Okay. Now let's just find an additional item. So we have two list items. The home page one also has a drop down. So let's just make sure that works. Okay, cool. Now, if we want to add the links, we can. So let's just do that. And do a href to the item. Most likely, if this is a drop down, we're probably just gonna have to leave it like that. Because when it clicks, it'll just drop it down. But most likely the home, the way we have it now, the home wouldn't have a drop down. I mean, it can, but there's some JavaScript stuff we would have to do to make that work properly, and then some templating stuff here. But for the time being, we're just gonna add a pound to it. And same thing here. Because it's a menu, it has to go somewhere, right? So we won't have any list items without a destination. So do that. All right. Same thing down here. All right, so now if we review, we have our home. This will be our drop down, and then our other menu item. So then we can see, view all. No, we don't have anything there. Let's do uncategorized. Add that, and then make it a child of hello world. Okay. Now what if we made hello world child and then that? And the other thing too is my menu only goes another level deep. It doesn't go 3-4 levels. We're just leaving it like this for now because we don't want to get too crazy with our menu. But if there are multiple levels to this, then we can always account for it within our template. So let's save that, and then we go back to review the site, and there we go. So we're accounting for our level 0 menu items and then our level 1 menu items, which are the drop downs. All right. So that's how you create the menu piece. In the next video, we're going to account for the logo, and we'll also basically add this to a menu bar or a nav bar or a nav div, or I'm sorry, a nav section. So we'll do that in the next video. Thank you.
So if you like this content that I just shared, please subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit that notification button while you're at it so you could actually be notified when I post my next video.